In a world where silence grows, Big Rob and Nando break the mold. They bring the light, they share the pain. Through the struggles and the rain, they open up with stories deep. No mask to hide, no secrets keep. With every word they pave the way, for minds to heal, for hearts to say. In the Calm Mind Collective we find our voice. Rob and Nando, they give us the choice to face the truth, to see what's real. No more hiding, it's time to heal. With guests who share, with hearts that bleed, they plant the seeds for those in need. No more turning a blind eye. Rob and Nando ask us why. They talk of nights when sleep won't come, of battles lost and wars begun. They've walked the path, they've seen the strain. They're here to say you're not insane. Through stories shared, the fear subsides. No longer must we run and hide. With every guest, a tale unfolds, the truth of life, the pain it holds. In the Calm Mind Collective we find our voice. Rob and Nando, they give us the choice to face the truth, to see what's real. No more hiding, it's time to heal. With guests who share, with hearts that bleed, they plant the seeds for those in need. No more turning a blind eye. Rob and Nando ask us why. In a world where silence grows, Big Rob and Nando break the mold. They bring the light.
You got back just in time.
Did you see me moving around then?
Yeah, I saw you disappear off screen. I was like, Are you all right?
Well, yeah, as you went live, Rocco started calling me and he was like, can you ask a few questions? To Bryan. So I got a few questions that he wants me to ask him.
Good.
Yeah.
How's things?
Yeah, they're good. I think this year, the start of the year, is all about, do you know what? Leave 2024 where it belongs.
And 2023, 2022.
And yeah, so far, so good. Fingers crossed it stays like that.
Building bridges.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of things going on with the two boys. Reese is building his life up north, and then Rocco with his newfound acting career, shall we say, or theatre work. He's doing amazing stuff there. Because I was speaking to our guest the other day, and Rocco comes in. Oh, I've got questions for him. So, and he's just reminded me now as you went live. Dad, don't forget what I want you to ask him.
He should be in the chat. He's got Facebook.
I've told him to, but he won't. He
goes shy.
He's also got a new little girlfriend as well. So that's what he's upstairs doing at the moment.
Girlfriends now.
Anyway, let's move on. How have you been?
Let's move on quickly. So you've mentioned Reese, you've mentioned Rocco, but you failed to mention Gino. Come on, mate. You've got to talk about Gino.
Again, he's absolutely good. He's got a lovely young lady friend or girlfriend now. And that's all I've got to say about that.
Good. And he's certainly come out of his shell, hasn't he?
Yeah. Things are a lot better. Unfortunately, it is part of this world we live in that there is some nasty people, and not to be negative, Rocco experienced something awful the other day. He was walking home with a friend that happened to be Muslim, and two men decided to pull up next to him, saying, F off you, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then they drove off and then turned around and started saying, you effing pack.
Yeah.
I won't say the rest. But, it's part of this lovely world we live in. But
no, tell me about it. I don't think it's going to get any better. I think, we don't discuss politics, but I think the country or the world's gone batshit crazy.
Yeah. On a positive, we've got a great guest tonight.
We have.
We've got good clips of this guest tonight to share. Some pictures.
Yeah, the photo is
A great photo.
It wasn't his best angle, and he's definitely no honcho. That would probably give it away, because he's probably like sitting in the background going, honcho, that means SWAT. Okay, he's trying to work out the picture. But it's great to have him back. It's been
a long time.
Year and a half, I think.
Blimey, yeah, nearly a year and a half, I would say.
Yeah. So, and it's good that we've all started chatting and rebuilding bridges, which is good.
Yeah,
Gone with the negativity. The only way is up.
Yes.
So can we bring him on then?
Yeah, let's do it, because we've got some questions for him.
Go on then. Let's bring on Mr. Bryan. Here he is.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you. Now, before we get started,
I
do want to say something.
Okay.
That song.
Yep.
That song for your intro was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Who did that?
I wrote it. AI sung it, because I can't sing for shit, but AI
sung it. Wow. And you know what I love? You know what I love the most about that? You stuck with the Big Rob.
Yeah. Yeah, that's stuck.
You stuck with that. That was great. That was awesome. I loved it.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Yeah. The song, the music choice, everything was great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
And and it's amazing what you said, the building bridges and forgetting 2024 and 2023, and obviously a lot has happened, and it's great. I love that. That's what I'm doing, building bridges.
Yeah, life is too short to live on, how can I put it, on bad feelings, or whatever way you want to put it. Life's too short, and I've come to realize I don't want my kids to grow up like, when I leave this earth, I don't want them to remember me that my dad always held a grudge, he never forgave, he never moved past, and I just don't want to be like that, and I don't want them to grow up like that. And putting all cards on the table, me and you, Bryan, haven't spoken in over a year.
Yeah.
And then to have that chat the other day was nervous. A lot of different emotions were going on, you know.
Yeah.
Because I quite rightly said I was expecting you to just tell me to do one, but it was a good chat.
Never. I would have never done that.
But no, that's the past. We're moving forward, and it's about talking about Mr. Bryan Jon Laverty, his acting, his business stuff. Yeah. And you start off, Rob.
I think it's only right that we start with this.
That's awesome. I love. You know what? I will say that was an awesome episode I did. It was the TV show was called History Erased, and I played a bomb squad commander in that episode.
Ah, okay. Yeah. I thought you were going for the Canadian version of SWAT.
It looks like it, yeah, for sure, eh? Yeah, it was great. I will say, the pants weren't very comfortable. They were riding in places that they shouldn't have been riding.
Well, we'll leave that to
be blunt. But overall, that was a great episode. And in fact, we actually had a real sniffing dog on the set for this episode.
Oh, okay. Just checking you before you go back to America.
Yeah. So basically, originally for this particular episode, it was supposed to be me with the sniff dog, with the dog. So that's how it was originally written in the script. But they decided that it was better for me to do the commanding, because that was my role, and guide the person who had the dog in this episode. And to be perfectly honest, it made a lot more sense because I was the commander of the squad, and it didn't make sense for me to have the dog when it should be the person, when it should be somebody else, and I'm actually commanding the squad. But you know what? To be honest, And this is the see, when people see the episode, they don't see all behind the scenes.
No.
So it was a rough shoot. It was a really, really rough shoot. And, people think it's glamorous and stuff like this, but it's really not. Our holding room was outside.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
And we had to sit outside and like, you don't get the trailers, you don't, and all those things. Like obviously with film sets and stuff like that, with movies, you get the trailers and stuff like that. But when it's TV shows, it's completely different. At least in Canada, it is. But no, that episode, I think that episode took 2 days to film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Hmm.
So is that the pick you were talking about before? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. So
I'm surprised you didn't show that other pic where I was in the jumpsuit. The jumpsuit, because I played a character, and I was in jail, and that's a really, really good episode. That was one of my very, very first real TV shows that I did, and I played a snitch in jail. Yeah, I was ratting out somebody that was accused of killing somebody, but they were still going through the steps of getting they were doing the investigation to get all their evidence on this guy. So I actually caught him telling me, or I actually called the cops to get a better deal, and told them that he admitted killing the people that he killed in that particular episode. Yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Good. We have some people in the chat, so I will say hello. We have Oliver, Lucky Colourful Shirt, James, Jason, Dr. Angela Stapleton, Matt Smith, Abby Mitchell, Lucas Stevens, Freddie, Danny Layton, Cheerful Honeybee, Claire Stevens, the Paranormal United Network Paralinks, number 1, the Bud Files, Tuber Chat, and Rando. Proving Rando Pool D Demon Army Meat Juice. I love it. She's
actually amazing. Tuber Chat, Kevin, that's Kevin.
Yep.
Tuber Chat. I'm very, very good friends with Kevin.
Kevin's brilliant. He helped me when I was a little channel.
Yeah.
Along with yourself and Lex, he used to share me out a lot. So
I've actually taken Kevin out on a couple of investigations.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And there's Rando, bless her.
So, just to ask Bryan, let's stick on the theme with your acting career.
Okay.
Right? How did you get into acting? Like, was it something that started for you in school, or where did it all begin for you?
It started in high school. I did some theater productions in high school, and then after I left high school, I joined a theater group, and I did a couple of productions through the theater group, and the one that I did Shakespeare, and I did Biloxi Blues.
Okay.
I'm sure you're familiar with both of them. And Biloxi Blues is really cool because the guy that played the lead character went on and moved to Hollywood and became a somewhat famous person.
Wow.
His name is Dylan Neal. He got his first huge break on the soap opera Bold and Beautiful. And he also played the brother of I can't remember the character's name on the show, but he played the brother of the guy on Dawson's Creek. He was the cop.
Okay.
His brother was a cop. Joshua Jackson's character. I think he was in the last couple of seasons of that, and he's done little bits in here and there, but as soon as he finished doing the theater production of Biloxi Blues, he moved to Hollywood and did quite well for himself. And he was on Bold and Beautiful for about 4 years. And so going off that, I ended up walking away for a little bit. And then I ended up going in the Army.
Okay.
And then after I got out of the army, or I went to college after the army, and then for some reason it's just that bug, that itch that most actors have. I decided to get back into it, so I got myself an agent. And my very, very first audition, and I will always remember this, my very, very first audition I got, and it was a commercial for a racetrack commercial, like Mohawk Raceway.
Okay.
And the great thing is about that commercial was really, really good commercial. It got bought by another racetrack, so they used it. So that commercial ended up playing for a couple of years on TV. So it was really cool. And then I did some other things. I did a few TV shows. I don't know if the TV show was out there, but Grasshopper, Kung Fu. Remember what's his name? What's his name again? I can't recall his name. Anyways, there was a TV show out here called Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. I was on that, and there was a bunch of other things. Now, what ended up happening, the reason I left the industry was because I was up for a role on a new soap that was going to be being filmed in Toronto. And people, I'm sure, have heard of this soap. Maybe you guys might not have, but it was a soap called Family Passions that turned into Passions.
Right.
So originally, when it was filmed here, it was Family Passions, and then it moved to the States after a year and became Passions. So I auditioned for that, and I auditioned for a role. That role probably about 8 or 9. It was about 8 or 9 auditions for that particular role. And I was really excited because I was getting down to the final selection on who's going to take the role. I got it. I got the role out of all those, after all those auditions. And by that time I was extremely, extremely exhausted, to be honest. It sucked the life out of me. So I went to my agent and I basically said, you know what, this is my break. This is my big break. So please do not ask for the world and money. What do you think my agent did?
Ask for the world and money, eh?
Yeah. So what do you think happened after that?
You didn't get the role.
I didn't get the role.
No.
So
They took it away from me and they gave it to the person I was competing with.
Rando said, was you thinking of this person? Kung Fu.
No. That's a cartoon.
I could see you doing Kung Fu Panda, Brian.
Not a cartoon. I guess it's animation, they call it. But it was called Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. But originally, when it was on in the 70s, it was called Kung Fu.
Ah, okay.
And I can't. David Carradine played the main character.
No.
And then he played in Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. He was actually a Kung Fu master in real life. But funny thing is, he was a heavy smoker. He was a big time smoker. And these days you could smoke on the set. You can't do that now.
Oh no.
So what ended up happening after that, I was so exhausted. I was so tired. I was so angry at my agent. I fired my agent and I left the business.
Wow.
I left it because I was so upset about what happened. And I left it for years. And then 5 years ago, when I moved to Toronto, 6 years ago, I've been in Toronto for probably about a year. I said, you know what? I want to go back. And I got some pictures done. I put my CV together and I started searching for an agent. And I sent it to probably 50 different agents. And I got a call back from one particular agent that I was interested. She said, well, I'm calling you because I can't bring you on, but somebody that works in my agency is starting her own. So, and she's looking for people to fill her roster. So we met and I loved her and she was great. And I knew, because she was starting out and she was brand new, I knew she was going to work a lot harder for me because she wanted to get her name out there. And she's done extremely well for me. Her name is Ilona DeCaro, and she's an amazing woman, and I love her to death. She's been a great agent, and yeah, so that's, I know that was long-winded, but that's really how it started for me. And you know, I'm not the only one that's been through that, you know, that it's got so distraught about what's happened in the industry. Like, I know people that have left the industry that that something happened on set, like a sexual harassment or you know, something really, really bad. And what is her name? Just curious, or can't you say? What did they ask? What was that question? Sorry.
I think it's about your greedy swine, your old, the one that was asking for lots of money.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you know what? I can't even remember her name now. I can't even remember the agency's name now, to be honest. I would have to go back and look. But nice woman, really, really super nice woman. But this would have been her biggest break as well, because she would have had somebody that was on mainstream TV, and it would have been good for her too. But you think she would have been a little more smarted about it,
Yeah.
but she wasn't. But anyways, that was then. This is now, and Ilona's done some incredible things for me, and I've done more now than I did in my 20s. But of course, there's more now out there than there was when I was in my 20s. So media is a lot different than it was back in the, you know, late 80s, early 90s compared to now. So yeah.
So we've got a few questions already.
Cool.
So the first one I'll choose is this one. From Lucky Colourful Shirt, what made you go from actor to paranormal investigator to health guru? You're a health guru now.
It's interesting. Actor and paranormal investigator has always been the same. I've always been an actor. Even when I wasn't in the industry, I considered myself an actor because I did a lot of stuff. I guess you could say I was more of a retired actor, I guess you could say. But actor and paranormal investigator has always gone together. Paranormal investigation is something that I've done for a long time. It's been about 13, 14 years now. And so those have always been kind of combined for me. The health guru stuff is something that I've always been into. I've always been in health. I've been going to the gym for a long time. I started going to the gym in my early 20s. I left for a long time, but then I went back, and but health has always been number one in my life. I always try to eat very healthy. You can't be perfect. Everybody likes to have a piece of chocolate every now and then, or a piece of cake. But at the end of the day, health has always been up there for me.
Yeah,
So
okay.
Yeah.
So some of these have already been asked by Nando, but what interested you to become an actor, and what is the biggest project or show you have been in? And finally, if you could choose any role, what would it be?
Ooh. Okay.
We could throw a few things of what kind of roles Bryan could do, couldn't we?
Yeah. Honestly, I guess this is going to sound really, really strange. I guess what really got me into acting when I first started going to the movies, and my very, very first, and you guys are going to laugh when I tell you this, my very, very first film that I ever saw in the theater was Jaws.
Yeah, that's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
And I was 10 years old. Probably not the best movie to see. I think it was 10 years. It might have been 12. But when Jaws first came out, that was the very, very first movie that I ever saw in the theater. And but I'd been to the drive-in with my family, but this was the first time I was in a theater where you had the seats and the popcorn and the drinks and that's where it really took my interest. And when I got into high school, I did a few things in public school, like some plays in public school.
Yeah.
But really, I started doing a lot more theater and productions in high school. And in fact, you guys are gonna find this funny, and you're gonna be a little surprised too. When I was before I went to college, when I applied to college, I was actually applied for their acting program.
Okay.
And the only reason why I didn't go, because I wasn't into dance, and I would have had to do dance. But the funny thing is, I had to dance for audition.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and it was terrible. But yeah, no, it was awful. Like it was awful. So, obviously things have changed now. I've become a better dancer now, but I got accepted. And but I decided not to go, and that's when I went into the army. And when I got out of the army, I went to business school, Sheridan College for Business. But yeah, so that's really where it started for me in public school, and then throughout high school, and then obviously getting my first agent and my first commercial. Bam! I was hooked. I was hooked. And what would be the biggest project or show you have been in? Okay, so I'm not allowed to talk about this, but because it's not out yet. I did a movie last year that was really big for me, really big for me. It's going to be in the Sundance Film Festival, and it's also going to be on Crave TV as well. So that should be coming out soon, but after the Sundance Film Festival, which I believe is in July. It's July, I think, right?
I think
the Sundance Film Festival is in July. So it's going to be there. And then the great thing is it's going to open so many doors for me. It's going to open a ton of doors if it does well, and it should do well. I can't really talk about my role. I can't really talk about the movie's title and stuff like that. Of course, I told these guys the title, and they had a good chuckle because it is a good chuckle.
Yep.
But I will say the book was a best-selling book. So that's something to look forward to. If I could choose any role to be in, it's not far from what I'm doing right now. If I could get a regular show on TV, it would definitely be a detective or cop.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Nando,
Yeah.
what would you put Bryan as? If any role, what would you put him as?
Do you know what he would be good at? Like some kind of funny role. Have you ever seen like I can see Bryan doing like a real like funny but grumpy granddad role, like a grandpa role. Do you know what I mean? Like I think it would be funny,
Yeah.
like I
can see that. Yeah.
It'll be cool. But going back to what you were saying, so you started off quite early in life with the theatre.
Yeah.
My son, 12 years old, Rocco.
Yeah.
You've
I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him.
A number of times.
Yeah.
He's recently got into the theatre, and he's actually been signed to one of the main theatres in Southampton.
Excellent.
And one of the questions that he had for you was, when you first started, how did you overcome the fears when you had to do your auditions in front of people? Because he does auditions where it's in front of people and he gets like sweaty palms. And how did you overcome that?
Yeah, you're never gonna lose that. I still
So how
get
do you
nervous.
deal with it? How
I
do you
still
deal
get
with it
nervous.
yourself?
You know what? I just walk in and understand. Okay, this is the best way to describe. This is the best way for him to approach. And it's and this is what I do now. Okay, every casting agent out there wants you to get the role. They want you to get the role. Even though casting directors get a bad rap, they want you to get the role. So if Rocco walks into an audition and goes, you know what? I know these people want me to get this role. That's all I'm going to think about.
Okay.
And that's all he needs to think about. He goes, obviously you don't want to go in there and be arrogant and be over the top. But if you go in there, walk in there with the confidence that you believe you deserve that role, you will do well. You will do well. And you know what? Don't worry about if you miss a word or miss a line or something. They don't care about that. They don't care about that. They want to see you as an actor portraying that character that they want you to portray. Because there's been many times where I've done a self-tape that I've done it 300 times because I've missed words here and there, and then come to the realization casting directors don't care about that. Now, if you miss a whole paragraph, that's a different story. Yeah. But they don't care. So if Rocco walks in having the confidence and taking some breaths, taking a moment to himself, close his eyes, and just think about his role, think about his character, how he's going to portray it, walks in with that confidence, he will get the role. Because casting directors believe when they see the confidence.
Okay.
If they see the confidence in Rocco walking in, portraying that character, he will get that role. Yeah, 9 times out of 10.
It's funny because he still gets nervous. Yeah. But he in his lifetime so far, like he hasn't been doing it for that long. I think it was like when was it? His first play was in August of last year. But every audition, I'm going to sound big-headed saying this, but I don't mean it the way it's
no.
Every audition he has done so far, he's got a lead part in the production, which but can I say nervous.
Something to you, Nando? Can I say something to you? And this is from the bottom of my heart. No, you're not exaggerating. You're not being, big-headed. You're a proud father.
Oh yeah,
you're a proud father. That's what you are.
Went to see him. Yeah, he had he did Annie the musical and he got the role of Oliver Warbucks, and he had a singing role that he had to do on his own in front of everyone. And do you know what? I had the tears trip. You know what I'm like.
You're proud. You're proud.
Yeah, the other question that he had for you, Brian, was what do you feel?
Let me finish the first one.
Oh, go on. You go first.
Finish the first one. So one thing that Rocco's going to need to learn right away. Soon as he leaves that audition room and closes the door, it's done.
Okay.
Don't think about it anymore. It's done. It's out of your control. It's out of your hands. There's nothing you can do about it. So if he learns that early, that's really, really going to help him with his confidence. Because I know there's so many actors out there. And to be honest, I'm at fault at it sometimes too, because there's a role that I really, really want. And I will email my agent, go, have you heard anything? She hates it when I do that, but at the end of the day, as soon as you close that door, it's done. You don't think about it anymore, and you go on to the next one. And that will build his confidence as well, and will also help his rejection.
That's what I say. You got to be resilient.
Yes,
and be
because
prepared.
He's going to be rejected more than he's going to get.
I know that. I say that, and I don't want him to be. We've said that to him about these roles. Don't be overconfident just in case, because you don't want to feel disappointed and feel that you don't.
No, but you want to go in confident. You want to go in confident because casting directors recognize that right away. If you go in there, and it's not always, and it could be different for kids. Casting directors understand that kids are going to be a little bit nervous, right? Yeah. But they understand. But my personal feeling is when I walk into an audition room, the first thing I'm thinking about is I know that casting director in that room wants me to get this role. And that's what I'm going to do to portray this role so I have the best chance on getting that role. And that's what I do every single time. Now it's different today. Yeah. Ever since COVID happened, auditions don't happen a lot more in casting directors' studios anymore. It's usually self-tapes now.
Yeah.
And like I do self-tape after self-tape after. I'm tired of taking up that backdrop. I'm tired of putting it up and putting it down. So that's one thing you're going to want to do. Yeah. You go to Amazon and buy a backdrop because they don't want anything behind them, around them, because it's a distraction for the casting director. So you get the poles, you get the backdrop. I got a blue one. You don't want a black one. You want a colored one. You want a blue or green one. And people get black. I don't know why they get black, but it looks, if you're wearing a black shirt, you can't see the person's body in camera. It's funny, but it's true. So I have a blue one. So if you get a blue one, it's perfect. Obviously, when you got the camera, you're putting the camera on a tripod. You don't want to be holding it. It's got to be still. But anyways, that's besides the point. But if he walks into the room believing that he's going to get that role, the confidence will come out of him. It really will. It's something so simple, but it's true. And then as soon as he walks out of that room, he forgets about it. And because the biggest thing in this business, as everybody knows, even if you're not an actor, rejection is the biggest thing in this industry. And I've been rejected so many times. So many times. I've done over 200 auditions for commercials.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And I've gotten 3.
So you got to be quite resilient in the industry.
Oh yeah.
Then. Like,
oh yeah. But you know what? Rocco's got a great look. He's got a great look.
I think it's his personality as well. He's
got a great look, and he's going to be very, very castable.
Yeah, I hope so.
And to be honest, in North America, that accent will get him a long way.
But this is going off subject. Is it about the acting world? But there's I think she was South Korean, Kim something. I don't know. And she's passed away recently. She committed suicide.
Who?
Kim. I don't know her full name, but she's more known. She did some stuff on Netflix.
Okay.
She did Bloodhounds. She was she was only 24 years old, committing.
Yeah.
So, do you think there's a lot of pressure for when people get into the industry? Like, is it too much pressure on the younger generation of actors and actresses? Because it seems to be like your life is out for everyone to sort of, what kind of support do you guys get as actors and actresses away from the?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, and I think when it comes to family and having an actor in the family, the support is huge. You have to have the support from your family. Like, I know you and Sarah are going to support your son in this. I know that. And I know how much you guys love him. So he's going to have mounds and mounds of support. You look at it this way, okay? A lot of child actors that have gone, they were child actors. They were famous. They were lots of money and, and going out to parties all the time, even though they weren't of age, and doing all these wonderful things. Fame is the biggest drug. Money's the biggest drug. They're on a beautiful TV show and it's hugely popular, and it's taken away.
Yeah.
And they've been labeled as that character, and nobody else can see them as anything else. That's hard on an actor, because they can't get anything else. That's how they're looked at. And so just imagine if you had money, fame, everything in the world that at your fingertips, and then all of a sudden it was taken away.
Scary.
You go down a dark road. You go down a real dark road. Now, the great thing is, if you have an amazing family with support, it's so much better. It's so much better if you have that support. And a lot of those kids that were famous actors, they had family support, but a lot of the families were taking the kids' money. And pocketing it. And taking it for their own. The only reason they got their kids in show business was because they wanted to be rich. I think you and Sarah, Nando, as a prime example, you're doing it because your son wants to do it.
We've not seen it in that sort of, where is this going to go? The way I see it at the moment, for me, I'm using this more as an educational purpose with Rocco, because I do believe education is key when you're young, and that's more important. And I will support anything they want to do. But I'm saying, like, Rocco, what I would like to see you do what you're doing. And then if you want to go to like a drama school, drama college, and do performing arts and everything, that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
But it does make you think when you see these young characters, and it's like what was it from the Power Rangers?
There's a huge amount of pressure.
It makes you think.
Huge amount.
Like the the gentleman that the guy that did the Power Rangers, the Green Ranger, what was his David Frank something? I don't know if you ever
Okay.
saw. He
I've never
also,
watched Power Rangers, so I don't know.
but he also committed suicide, and
Yeah.
a big part of his career is a bit like what you were just saying, was just the Power Rangers. And then
Yeah.
after the Power Rangers, after his stuff was done, he never did anything else. And then he committed suicide.
Yeah.
You know, is it a case like in the industry that once you've done your part, they just move on and they forget about you then in a way?
Yes.
Is that?
Yeah. Plain and simple. You have to stay relevant. If you don't stay relevant, you're gone.
Wow.
Simple as that.
It's like no disrespect to the industry that you're in, Brian. I don't mean that.
No.
But for me, when you say it like that, it's a bit like a sales job, for example.
Yes.
You either there, you make your sales. If you don't, a bit like Wolf on Wall Street, a little bit.
Yeah.
You need to make
for
money.
Good
If you
comparison.
don't,
Yeah.
and it's
But you know what? That's your agent's job too. The agent's job is to keep you relevant. And if they're not doing that, you move on to another agent. And but honestly, as much as I love the business, and this is going to sound foolish, it might sound foolish, as much as I love the business, and I really do love it, I hate it at the same time. And the reason I hate it is because of the fact the amount of crap that I see, the amount of crap of other actors, the suicides, the depression, the everything that is dark about the industry. Like, look at Harry Weinstein.
yeah.
He's in jail now. Look what he did. And we always heard rumors about the casting couch. It's true. It was true back in those days. And there's a real dark side of this industry. And that's why, as parents like you and Sarah, you have to stay aware. You have to watch. You have to make sure the agent is doing the right thing. You have to make sure that the crew are doing the right thing on set. You have to be acutely aware of what's going on around Rocco at this age.
And
bottom line,
in your opinion as well, and I'm not trying to put a negative spin on this,
No.
just as you're in the industry and you've seen a lot over the years,
yeah.
Do you think we as the public, the viewers, are at fault for some of the things that happen to these actors and actresses? Because every time something happens, they're on Facebook, they're on YouTube, they're on the news. It doesn't matter how small even someone's breakup, everything is so publicized, and then before you know it, you got all these trolls on these social media platforms making their own comments and making their own judgment on these people. Do you think we're making it worse for them? Like,
No.
should their business be publicized as much as it does?
You know what, Nando, that's a real tough question to answer, because at the end of the day, I would say yes as an actor, but actors put themselves out there. They're in the public eye, and if they're screwing up, I could use another word, but if they're screwing up, then, it's kind of at their own fault. You know what I mean? And they got to realize they are in the public eye. And if they're going out and doing drugs on the street or something like that, and paparazzi happens to get a picture of that, well, that's just dumb. You got to be more aware of your surroundings. And as parents, you got to be more of your son's surroundings so he doesn't go down that dark hole. I'm not saying he's going to. I'm not saying that at all.
I'm just saying as a general, as a viewer,
I think everybody has everything. I think, I think the public has a lot to blame, and I think the actors and the actresses have a lot to blame. But they can't be at fault because they got in an industry where their lives are under a microscope.
It's all about judgment and
So, like professional sports players. Like, take a look at those.
Yeah.
A lot of them are breaking the law, especially, I don't want to say certain sports are
football
bad,
players.
but you see
players seem to do it all the time. Football players.
Are you talking about NFL or are you talking about soccer players?
Oh, we're on about like the soccer players here in the UK. They, if it's not speeding, it's some kind of fight in a bar. It's all
Same thing with
sorts.
the NFL here, the players here. You don't hear it as much in baseball. You don't hear as much in hockey. But it always seems to be the NFL players, sometimes the basketball players, but baseball and hockey you don't hear, or the leagues are just able to cover it up better. But
Yeah, maybe.
you know,
Maybe.
but at the end of the day, it's I would say everybody has a little bit of part in it, to be honest. And I wish and it's never ever gonna happen, but I wish people were more kind
Mm.
towards
It,
each other. And
this is the thing.
you
This is
know,
with everything. That comment can
yeah,
relate to everything.
yeah, yeah,
As soon as we were saying in the back room before, social media, as good as it is, it's a very evil place because you can make one person can make one comment about you, and before you know it, you got a streamline of
yeah.
stuff where, and it's horrible. But
And
you
And
know,
then it
everyone,
goes through that telephone game, right?
yeah,
yeah, and then Chinese whispers, I like to call it, and then
yeah,
someone
Yeah,
has gone. So,
yeah,
how do you keep, like, with everything that you do? You know, is auditions. How do you keep your mind healthy, like mentally? Because it's got to be quite draining for you to all the no's that you get to the
yeah,
yeses, and you don't know. Again, you don't know when your next role's going to come in. It's
yeah.
all a bit of a okay, I'm going to do this now, but see what happens next. How do you keep your focus and keep that mental
I don't.
healthiness?
I think. Oh, I think. When I was younger, I probably didn't handle it as good, but as I've gotten older and more mature, I've been able to handle it. And again, going back to what I said earlier, once you walk into that audition room, do your thing and leave, it's done. You got to get it out of your head. And if you get the role, great. If you don't, it's no chin off your no skin off your back or whatever it's called.
yeah.
And you just gotta you really have to train yourself to ignore it and move on. And
But
I'll be honest, I don't all the time. I don't all the time, and I get disappointed. But I
Mm,
know there's going to be a role that's going to be coming up that's going to be great for me, and that's what I think about the most. And it could be 6 months down the road, and if that's the case, fine. But I truly believe that um, the next role that I get. I will have the best time in my life on set, and I will really get into that role, have fun with it, because I don't know the next role when it's going to be, and I take full advantage of it. I take full advantage of that role, and I get to meet people, and I introduce myself to the cast or the crew, so I can get to know the crew, because a lot of times these shows, they're the same crew doing all these different types of shows, so you get to know them. I love meeting people on the set. I love talking to people, because you get to learn things too. You learn things, you pick things up, and
mm.
but I just love everything about it. But again, there is a dark side that I don't like, but I try to ignore that. I look at the positive in the acting world. I always try to look at the positive.
Yeah,
So, and if you can train yourself to do that, you'll be fine. You'll be
yeah,
fine.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Rocco will be perfect. I don't
So
think
do
he
I.
any.
So do I.
Well,
I I think a lot of these times with these actors that have gotten themselves into trouble or drugs or arrested or something, I would say 90% of the time they probably don't have a good home life, and they never did.
Wow.
So
We're quite lucky here then.
yeah,
So, but no, but with you as well, a lot of the roles that you've done,
yep,
it was funny because again, we said earlier on, we haven't spoken properly for about a year and a half. And I quite like my documentaries. I can sit
yeah,
there and watch a good few. And I don't know if it's called the same in Canada, but there's one on Discovery Plus called Murder Caught on CCTV.
yeah,
And I kid you not, right? And it was just like, is there someone trying to tell me something? That every other one, Mr. Laverty happened to appear on one of these documentaries.
yeah,
Um, but there was a lot of the ones that you did, you played a detective, you've
yes,
played a captain on a boat. But there's
yeah,
one particular one which was completely different to what I've seen you do. You actually play the murderer.
yes,
Now, the guy in question, he seemed a bit of an oddball. Like
Yes,
when I don't know if you know which one I'm on about. I can't remember
I
the
do.
name of
I
it.
do. I do. It's based on a true story.
Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
ones that we were talking about, these are all based on factual events,
Yeah.
murders, and how the detectives break the case, basically. But you actually play the murderer.
Yes.
How did you switch your? Because you must have been used to being saying, Brian, we want you to be a detective again. We want you to do this again. So it's sort of the same
Hmm.
sort of scenario for you because you know what you're doing. How did you like get your mindset into a murderer's
I
mind?
watched a lot of murders on YouTube.
And
Okay.
does, and does that
And
affect you as well, like having to get
it
into a
helped.
murderer's mind?
It helped. And also I watched a little bit of I don't want to say a documentary, but I watched a lot on this guy that was the killer.
Okay.
And
He
in
wasn't
all
very
honesty,
clever though, was he? He wasn't
what
the
no,
brightest.
because well, he was dumb. Like to
Yeah.
be perfectly honest, but to kill somebody, to stab somebody 66 times
Mm. Yeah, this is the one that
for
I'm.
$80,000 seems a little bit out there.
66. What was the thing for 66? Why couldn't he have just done it once?
Yeah, no, he stabbed this guy 66 times. But then what he proceeded to do is put him in a barrel,
Yeah.
one of those wine barrels. And he took it out on his boat and threw the guy in the water. Well, and I don't think it was I don't think they said it in the video or in the TV show, but this guy dumped the body. Now, putting in perspective, the wine barrel's probably about 5 feet high.
Yeah.
He put this guy in 3 feet of water.
I think that was in. That was in what
I
I
can't
was
remember
watching.
if that was in or not,
It
but
was because
yeah,
he tried to dispose of the body
yeah,
by putting it into the water, but the
yeah.
barrel would not sink because the
No,
actual river or what I
yeah,
don't know if you call it anything, but it wasn't deep enough, so it was just there sticking out,
yeah. So
and they
this
were
guy
able to
wasn't the
retrieve
brightest
it.
person in the world, to be honest. So, but during the trial, because I watched during the trial, they showed little clips of the trial in real life, and
Mm.
to be honest, even though he was a big, scary guy, and he was a big guy, but I do look a little bit like him. Yeah, and it was a little bit off-putting, to be honest. He actually seemed really nice,
Oh.
Okay.
and I think he got caught up in a terrible situation, and the renting of his place, and this guy that rented the back room really tore it apart,
Mm.
and he was going to be out money, a lot of money. So that's why he wanted. And this guy apparently he killed got an inheritance of something like $80,000 or something like that. So it wasn't a lot of money, but this guy was in a very, very desperate situation and did a very, very desperate thing. But I would say 66 times is a little bit of overkill.
Mm.
So obviously there wasn't something going right up there, and but he got 55 years, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
and he was 48, 47, 48,
he
somewhere in
wasn't.
there.
Yeah.
He wasn't that old, but you know what, dude? Like honestly, I watched a lot of video on killers. I watched him, and I took a little bit of everything from everything that I saw,
Yeah.
and I put my own little twist on it. And the only disappointing thing out of that was they took out mostly all my speaking roles.
Okay.
And so I was a little but I like how they spun it. I really, really like how they spun it. And I looked like a killer. Like, honest to
Yeah.
God, I did. In that one scene where the killing actually happens, the look in my face, I was actually scared.
Is that because you researched so much, that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
actually got into the group?
And you know what? The director pulled me aside and gave me, and Stephen was amazing, actually from the UK.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, but that was a TV show here called See No Evil. Okay. A lot of people will know that show here in North America. But mostly all our directors for See No Evil are from the UK.
Wow.
And Stephen was an amazing director, very laid back, very relaxed, which is unusual. And I'm going to say something that probably won't. If there's any directors out there, I apologize. Or at least male directors. I find male directors to be a lot more intense than female directors. I love working with female directors. I really do. And the movie that I did last June, July, it was a female director, and she was absolutely amazing, very laid back. But I find most male directors are very, very, very intense. And I don't always do well with that. But yeah, it was, and I'll be honest, Rob, at the end of that filming, I was completely drained.
Yeah.
Like I was so drained. It took a lot out of me to do that role. And
they say that,
it turned out perfect. Turned out great.
They say that people that
yeah.
play killers and research to kill a role after they've actually done the movie or the TV series, they feel really like bad within themselves.
Yeah, it was really tough. And that one look at just before, like I'm swear, like that look I had before I picked up that knife and killed that guy, like the director even said that was, sorry for saying this, and I hope I am okay for saying this. He goes, that was fucking amazing. And a lot of the crew were saying, my God, you do look like a killer, because there was a particular scene. And I don't know if I think it was in the TV show where I was actually taking a garbage bag and putting it in the car. And somebody that was behind the camera said, you know what, dude, you're a fucking killer. And that, you know what, that was terrible thing to say, but the best compliment in the world.
Yeah.
Because I did my job.
Wow.
I did my job. I did what I was supposed to do. And that's why I've been on the show. That's why I've been on See No Evil 7 times.
You've been on there several times, and
7 times, in fact. Yeah.
Do you find it an added pressure because you know what you're doing is based on true events? So
no, not at all. Not at all.
You don't feel because of do the families get informed that they're
because a lot of times sorry. A lot of times the families are interviewed during that TV show.
So that's what I mean. Do you feel the added pressure knowing that the families are involved as well, and you got to make sure you're getting it?
No, not at all.
No.
Because honestly, at the end of the day, I'm gonna approach it the way I think it should be approached. Obviously the director is going to give you some pointers. He's going to tell you how he wants it, and you do your best to achieve that. But for me personally, I take a look at a character and I go, okay, I see how this is going to go, and this is the way I'm going to do it. And if the director doesn't like it, we'll change it up a little bit and we'll do it that way. So no, I don't feel that. To be perfectly honest, Rob, I don't even think about that. Or Nando, I'm sorry. I don't even think about that, to be honest. Because I know at the end of the day, and this is not to toot my own horn, I'm not bragging, I know I will portray that character. What's the word I'm looking for? I know I'll portray that character the best way I can.
Yeah.
And the best way the director wants it to be done. And it's not tooting my own horn. It's just, I've come to learn that along the way on doing so many TV shows. But again, like Nando, I don't even really think about that, to be honest.
You just focus on what you're doing, and then
I just focus on what I'm doing and how I want to portray that character. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
That's fair enough.
So,
we have a question from Lucas.
Okay.
Which actor or actress inspires you the most? And Nando, where can I find tickets to PTTP?
Nice way to put that in there. Ask 2 questions at once.
We'll put a link at the end of the show. We'll put a link to the events page for us.
Yeah.
But Brian, do you want to answer his question?
Can you bring up that question again?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which actor or actress inspires you the most?
Oh Lord. Oh, there's so many. There's so many I like, and I look up to. The first person that came to my mind, and I loved this series, and I think most people did, is The Sopranos.
Yeah.
And I love James Gandolfini. I'm sorry if I butcher this name, but Gandolfini. I absolutely loved him as an actor, and I found out a lot of information recently on how he played that role. How he always had a scowl on his face. You know how he achieved that?
No.
He would put a pebble in his shoe.
Oh wow.
Oh, really?
Yep. So basically, it would hurt. It would hurt so much. That's why he had that look on his face all the time. And also, another way he got that look, and that the way he portrayed that character, if he had a big scene, the next day he wouldn't sleep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's I loved him as an actor. And obviously the big names. Like Robert De Niro, I like, not now because the way he's been, but I like him as an actor. There's so many I love. I loved what's his name? Oh shit, what was his name? Played in The Godfather. I can't remember his name now.
Al Pacino?
Al Pacino, no, but the other guy, the main character.
The first one that played his father.
The Godfather.
Yeah.
The old actor. He's been passed away for years.
No idea.
Somebody in the room will know. But his name's slipping me. But there's been so many. You know what? I love Gene Hackman.
Yep.
Love Gene Hackman. Anybody that's out there now? Interesting. People are going to find this funny. I like Mark Wahlberg's movies. I really do.
Yeah.
I love his action movies. I think he's great. I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. But I do like some of his stuff, and it's funny about Tom Cruise. So I was if I could tell this story, there was how do I say it? It was like not a theater group, but it was a it was a school. I will say it was a school. It was in the States. And so I wanted to go to the school in the States, and for obviously acting. And so I ended up having to go in to do a monologue for this. And this is all coincidence. Okay. This is all coincidence. I ended up having to do a monologue to this because they came over to Canada and they were looking for, students and stuff like that. And I just happened to know an agent that was involved with this person and got me in to do a monologue. So the monologue I did was the exact same monologue that Tom Cruise did to get in his acting school.
Oh, wow.
Whatever. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah. So, but I like, you know what? I like everyone across the board. I don't really have a super favorite one or one inspires me. But I'm a huge movie fan. I'm a huge TV fan. I love theater productions. I love it all.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Claire Stevens asks, what movie would you love to do a remake of and star in?
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. I don't know. Well. That's a great question. I don't know. This is going to sound weird. I think it's because of my first experience in the theater. I'd love to do a remake of Jaws.
Yep. I could see you being on
play the Roy Schneider part. Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to do that. Yeah. There's a lot of movies out there, cop roles that I would love to do and remake of, for sure. Hey, listen, you know what? I know I've been pegged. Sorry, wrong choice of words. I know I've been labeled. Pegged is the wrong choice of words. But I've been labeled, and that's fine. A lot of my roles are cop roles. A lot of my detective roles. A lot of my roles are authority figure roles.
Yeah.
Do you
I'm
think
okay
that's
with
because
that.
of the way? Do you think that's because of the way you come across, though? Because
Yeah.
you know, I got to be honest, when I first met you, like this is when you were planning the trip to the UK,
Yeah.
and one of the first conversations that I had with Sarah after getting off the phone, because you were having a chat with Sarah and she introduced us,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't know how to take the guy because he literally didn't smile throughout the whole phone call. He was literally saying, "This is what I want to do. This is what I need.
Yeah.
Can you help me?" And there was not one smile. And I'm like, is he going to come down like with a whip and like just like shit?
Don't worry, we thought exactly the same. We were literally like, "Oh my god!"
But
You know what
we're
it is
joking
when
about. But do you think that's why they give you those sort of because you have that face that
yeah, and the
you've got a
voice.
poker face that people can't
Yeah.
read what you're really
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
sometimes?
Well, no, that's not true because a lot of times, a lot of the roles that I get is because of my facial expressions.
You look grumpy, like a
No,
detective would.
no,
Oh well, there goes
no,
that. That's just
no. But no, a lot. It's also because of my voice as well. My voice being so deep.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons too. And people say I can be a little bit intimidating as well.
I don't know where they would get that from.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of reasons, all wrapped in a little ball, but you know what? I don't care. Like I've always said to my agent, I don't care what role I get as long as I get a role.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of actors out there that choose their roles. I'm not at that point yet, but what's happening now is, and what's been happening for the last year, for certain casting directors, I don't have to audition anymore. So if they want me, they call my agent and go, "We need Bryan to play this role," and my agent will contact me, make sure everything's right, everything's ready to go, and I'm good for those dates, and then we're ready to go. I love those. Because auditioning, to be honest, sucks. It sucks. It's nothing glamorous about auditioning. Really, it's not. But that is starting to happen more now, and which is great. I love it. It's like I'm flattered because these casting directors are going, okay, we know Bryan's work, we love him, we want him for this role, and that's what's happened the last 4 See No Evils that I did.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to watch them, over here on Discovery Plus, it's actually called Murder Caught on CCTV, and there's a number of the See No Evils. I think we call it over here. So if you've got Discovery Plus, go over and have a watch. It's under the documentaries, true crime documentaries.
You can also see them on YouTube because a lot of them go over to YouTube as well. Eventually, when like people taking them off the TV and putting them on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So they end up going there as well. Like if you wanted to, you can look for. Do you have that? Are you going to show that clip?
So I have one clip. Let me bring it up.
And I'll tell people where they can find that.
Let's find it.
I like this one.
So hopefully it plays.
It's having a good think about it.
It is having a good think about it. It's like, yep, not wanting to play this.
Catches their attention.
Looks like you had some work done on the steering.
Yeah, that's right. We had it done last summer.
They had problems in the past with their steering. Maybe it happened again.
That look.
It's that look. See what I mean? It's the look, isn't it?
Problem. We need to take a closer look at the changes they made to the ship.
Again, he looks like he wants to headbutt someone. It's the intense look in the eyes. And do you know what? Just before you go, well, I said that about when we first met. When Brian actually come to the UK, he was very different. He was hugging everyone. It was very different to what I was expecting. I was expecting someone different, but it was fun. But yeah, it's those looks that you give. It's like you can feel how intense you are in those moments. Like
yeah. It's you know what, and that's a lot of times casting directors look at your facial expressions as well, and especially when it comes to detectives and cops and killers and authority figures. I played a supervisor on a TV show called History Erased, and I was a supervisor in a quarry. And that was a fantastic role. I ended up the director, Anthony Brown, was amazing director, and we're actually friends on Facebook. And he said, anytime there's going to be a role or I'm going to write something that I need, I'm going to be calling you, and you're going to play that role. And so it's really important, and especially for Rocco, to make those connections as well. You know, talk to people, introduce yourself, learn about them, because that could come back, and that can come back to you and saying, you know what, a director's filming a new movie or a TV show or something like that, and goes, geez, I remember that Rocco kid. I think he would be perfect for this role. I'm going to call his agent and see if we can get him to audition, or even just give him the role. So it's great to make those connections. And Anthony Brown was amazing. But again, a lot of my roles are authority figures, and I have no complaints about that. None.
No. And have you ever gone into a role where your personality is so different to another actor or actress's personality, where you just don't get the screen on set chemistry, they call it? Like, or are you quite adaptable to everyone around you? Like, how do you make sure it works? Because sometimes people say, I couldn't get on with that person on screen and it just didn't work.
No, I'm lucky that I've never had that problem. But there was a particular role that I played. It was a doctor that I didn't feel comfortable playing at all.
Really?
Honestly, and I'm not going to say it wasn't me. I just never felt comfortable with the role. And I just couldn't find who this guy was. And he was killed. So I was killed in this particular episode. I was stabbed, I think, 22 times, and I was shot 15.
Oh, wow.
Something crazy. It's based on a true story of a doctor. His name was Dr. Saunier, and he was out of Texas, I believe. And it's based on a true story. And I could never find that character, if that makes sense. I just never felt comfortable with it. The director said I played it well, but I was really faking it because I just couldn't adapt to that role. And there's a lot of actors out there that have done that have played a role and go, you know what, that was crap. That was crap. I didn't feel that at all. And but thank God you have editing, because they can make you look better than you really are.
Yeah.
So, but you were going to say something, Nando?
I was going to say, is it true that a lot of the times it's your worst critic? Like, is what you see. Do you think you judge yourself a lot more than what other people do because of what you do with the acting? Do you think it's I don't know how to put it. Like,
I know how you're putting it. Every actor goes through that. They're their own worst critic.
Yeah,
they're always saying that I could have done it better.
Yeah.
And I always say that. I always walk away. I feel good when I walk away, but then looking back and going, you know what? I should have done it this way.
Okay.
Or I should have done it that way. But again, that's going down a dark road that you do not want to go down.
We stay off that.
Don't want to go down that road, because then you're going to really start questioning yourself as an actor. So you walk. It's the exact same thing in an audition. As soon as you're done the filming, you walk away. You move on to the next project. So that's all you can do. And again, we were talking about it earlier. This is a very, this is probably one of the worst industries to be in for rejection. Because you're rejected on a daily basis, and you might not even know you're being rejected. Your agent could be submitting you for something, and the casting director comes back and says, "No, we don't want him."
Wow.
Cool.
Wow.
Oh, so
It is. But again, you have to be resilient. You have to have a strong backbone, and that comes with over time. You know, at that right away. You know, you learn that. You learn it.
the more auditions you do, the more you build it up.
Yeah. And you start getting that backbone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because it's a tough business. It's a tough business. Like, you know, I'm not famous. I don't make a crap load of money. But I love doing what I do. I love being in front of the camera. And that's not being arrogant or anything like that.
But
That's
it's still an
I do.
achievement, though. It's still an achievement to see that your work is being put out on streaming platforms that people like. You're in Canada, we're here in the UK, and I've watched, you know, and there's been like,
is it weird though? Do you find it weird?
Yeah, do you know what? I've got to be honest, because we were at a stage where we weren't talking, and it was just like, okay, I'm going to watch it now because I've invested into it. I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
And then I'll move on, and then another one comes on. I'm like, okay. But it is weird to say that, oh, do you know, I've actually spoken to that person.
Yeah.
Like, I've actually stood in front of them.
Yeah. You've actually had your arms around this guy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think Rocco was watching it with me, and I think he was the first person to, hey, don't you recognise him? And I'm like, what do you mean? So we were rewinding it back. And this one, you were a detective of a homicide of a young lady that was found.
Okay.
Anyway, so and you literally come walking to the door. You're like the main investigator, and Rocco's there with his finger, and it's like, we know him. So I'm like, and I was like, yeah, it's Bryan. Yeah, the Canadian. And that was Rocco. And then it just sort of. And then, because there's a number of series of this CCTV caught on camera, and that
it's
you
been
were
on for
a few.
I think they've been on for 12 seasons.
Yeah, there's loads of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is strange to think that someone that you've spoken to, and seeing how, and again, your personality is so different. Like, people see, like, what we watch on TV, you come across quite like the eyes and the way you talk. It is. He's
going down a dark road.
I tell you what, I'm being serious. In all of them, his is the look to kill. Like, honestly, he's on a mission. But it was funny when you first popped up on our screen.
Yeah, it's funny. I forget who it was. It happened last year. Who was it? Anyways, not a big deal on who it was. The story's funny. She messages me and she goes, "Are you an actor?" I go, "Yeah, it's actually in my profile on Facebook that I'm an actor." And she goes, "Oh my God, I just saw you on this TV show. I thought it was your twin. I thought you had a twin brother." And a friend of mine, Stacy, that I've known for 15, 16 years, 17 years, somewhere around there. She was flipping through the TV a couple of weeks ago. I think it was 3 weeks ago. And she stopped on, I think it was ID, Investigation Discovery. And there I was on the TV. And she goes, "You know what? It's really, really super weird watching you on TV because I know you so well in real life." But no, and I get that a lot. And now what's happening every so often when I go out, people will recognize me. And, that's cool. It's cool. Because it's really cool when they say, "You know what? I really enjoyed you in that episode. That was really cool." That's what I enjoy. Yeah. And that just shows that I did my job.
Yeah. That's it. And moving on from, with everything you've done, you do a lot in the paranormal, Paraflix. We've known you for Global Ghost Hunt, Parapost, Network Central. But one of the big things that have kicked off you recently, and it seems to have, skyrocketed. Yeah, that's the word. Like, Health Empowers You.
Yes.
Is the newest thing. And just let you know, Bryan's also an author as well. Let's not miss that out. He has got a book on Amazon as well, with recipe. But Health Empowers You is being something that's sort of shot right up there. You know, with do you want to give everyone a bit of a tour on what that is?
You know what? Health Empowers You started. I put together a recipe guide of 200 healthy smoothies.
Okay.
And I was actually planning to put it into a book. I was actually going to do another book because my first book is the top 31 ketogenic recipes. I did that, the top 31. And then I put together this 200 recipe guide for smoothies. And my son said to me, why put it into a book? Let's start you a website and you can sell it on the website. And that's where the website was born. And my son did the website. And I will point out, Aaron Hoffman went in there and changed up the website a little bit too, put some cool things in there for me. And that's where it started. And then I put a 25 recipe guide for people that have diabetic or that are diabetic. Because I know there's a lot of the recipes in my 200 recipe guide diabetics can't have, unfortunately. But even though it's natural, like natural fruits and stuff like that, a lot of fruits out there that are high in sugar, not that it's healthy sugar, but it's high sugar for a diabetic. So I said, you know what? Somebody mentioned to me on my Facebook page, they go, is there any way that you could do a recipe guide for diabetics? And that's what I did. I created 25 recipes for diabetics, and it's worked beautifully. And then I started adding other things. There's a new product that's going to be coming to the page, and they're catered towards health and wellness. And that should be coming out in the next, hopefully by the end of the month, the beginning of the following. I'm going to be bringing new products on there. They're called Envision You products. They're the health and wellness. It's collagens and all those things. So they're going to be perfect for the website. So that really, at the end of the day, my son is the one that really started the website for me. And I didn't really think it, to be honest, it was going to go anywhere, to be honest. And then I created a Facebook page and I created an Instagram page, and they blew up. Like right now I have 68,000 on Facebook, and Instagram is just under 66,000 or 67,000. So they just blew up. And YouTube, I think there's 1,200.
So you've got 66,500 followers on Instagram.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it just blew. And, that's only 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah, because it's quite a new venture for you, isn't it? It's not something that's
I sold a lot of the recipe guides for the 200 healthy smoothies.
Because you got tea products as well, haven't you?
I do. And tea and coffees will be coming out soon.
Cool.
And the great thing is with this new line that's coming out, they already have coffee in it. So I don't really need to go out and get coffees, because I was planning to bring coffee, my own coffee, not my own coffee, but a company that makes coffee. The products that I plan to bring on for teas is from a company out of Australia. And their products are amazing. So those will be going on the site soon. Now, when it comes to Health Empowers You to deliver to the UK, yes, we do. Okay. I have right now, what I did was I did another thing, and I don't know why I did this, but I did it. And I thought it was good. It's really popular right now is tumblers and coffee mugs. And they have funny quotes on them and stuff like that. So yes, you can buy them in the UK. Now, in fact,
some of them are quite funny. There's some funny quotes on this mug.
Yeah. So I decided to do that. They're selling well, and it's great. But my main goal for the site is the tea and coffee products that are going to be coming on. Like the tea is going to be absolutely amazing. They're going to be cognitive teas. They're going to be sleeping teas. They're going to be weight loss teas. And I believe there's another one. I can't recall what it is. But these 4 teas are amazing. And I actually get to make my own mixture in them if I wanted to.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And they're going to be absolutely amazing. And this company does extremely well. Extremely well. They have somebody on. Their distributorship, to be honest, but they have somebody that's making a boatload of money, but my real thing is about the health and wellness. I love that space. I've always loved that space. I'm at the gym constantly. I'm eating healthy. I'm not always drinking healthy, but at the end of the day, I'm not going into a muscle competition. So, as long as I stay healthy and, continue eating healthy, I'll live longer.
Can you
Hopefully.
give Lee any advice?
Okay, so I have if you can add me to Facebook, I am going to point you in the direction, because right now on our Facebook page, I have a fitness and nutrition expert. Okay, so he has a video series on the Facebook page for subscribers. So if you subscribe to our Facebook page, like one went up today, and it's tacos, healthy tacos, and it's a cooking video. So he's all about nutrition. He's all about fitness. I can get you in touch with him, and he can help you.
So do you want
does I know who you're on about, because he does TikTok lives as well, doesn't he?
Yes.
He does a lot on TikTok.
He has over 700,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah, because he talks about, I can't remember his name now.
Darren Robinson.
Yeah, so he talks about a lot of the stuff that what we're initially told is rubbish, and he just gives he's a very factual guy, and he just says
no filter. No filter.
No, he definitely just says as he is. But he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
But also,
I've known Darren. I've known Darren since high school.
Oh, okay. Is he?
Yeah.
And he's
fantastic.
trained in all.
What's that?
He's actually trained in all these subjects that he talks about.
Yes,
isn't he?
And also he will help people with fitness, but he's more. Listen, at the end of the day, fitness is. I break down fitness in this way: 10% is in the gym, 90% is diet, and that's Darren. And he will get you on a plan that will help you lose weight quickly.
Cool.
And he's amazing at what he does. That's why I brought him to Health Empowers You Facebook page. And that's why he's doing a video series right now, if you're a subscriber. And so if you go over to the page and subscribe, you can watch I think he's got about 20 videos up there right now. We put one out every single week, once a week on Mondays. And he will either talk about nutrition, fitness, or whatever else he's going to talk about that week. But today was a cooking video, and what he's making is absolutely amazing. And his philosophy is that if you're going to lose weight, most people that lose weight, they go on a strict diet and the food is crap.
Mm-hmm.
He teaches you how to eat food that you're going to love.
I'm going to go.
That's the problem. When you think of a diet, I've changed.
You shouldn't have to hate your food when you're on a diet.
It can be very bland and very boring.
But Darren doesn't believe in diets.
Okay.
He doesn't. He doesn't believe in diets. He believes in a good structure, a good eating structure. You will lose the weight. But on top of that, you got to do a little bit of fitness in order to lose that weight. Whether you're walking, because Darren's not a huge fan of cardio either. He believes cardio is nothing but crap. And if you want to lose weight, you got to hit the gym and you got to hit weights.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And Yeah, and he's good at what he does, and he's for a guy that's I think he's 2 years. I think he might be a year older than me. He's in phenomenal shape for somebody.
Oh, he
He's in
is in good shape.
phenomenal shape. Now, I told this Darren to Darren this. I hope Darren doesn't see this, but I told this to Darren that Darren, you tanned way too much because he's got all those freckles all over his body because of the tanning. Right? He tanned a lot, and especially in the tanning booths.
Yeah.
But he was in competitions. He was in fitness competitions and phenomenal shape. But
Well,
he's more about nutrition than fitness.
that's a great addition to have to your page as well. But
Yeah.
not only with his videos, you're actually starting a new podcast.
Yes.
As part of Health Empowers You, and you got a co-host that's going to be
Yeah,
joining
her
as
name
well.
is once I get these products on, then we'll start our podcast. Her name is Darcy Potts, and she's part of this Envision You company, and the actual podcast is called Envision You Podcast. So it's Vision U, as in just letter U.
Yeah.
Podcast. So that will only be seen on Facebook, on the Facebook page. It might go to YouTube, but it's only going to be on the Facebook page. And so come on over and watch. We're going to be doing interviews, obviously, but we're also going to be talking about the Envision You products every week. It will be one product a week, and I believe there's only like 10 products. So they just came out with a coffee line, which is now one of these coffees has collagen in the coffee.
Oh.
And we all know the big fad right now about collagen.
Yeah.
And what it does to your body and what it does to your skin, everything like that. So there is collagen in one of the coffees. But these are products that we're going to be talking about every week. We're going to have people that are from the industry. We're going to have people that the owners of the industry, like the owner of the company. We're just going to have people coming on and talk about health and wellness. And that's all it's going to be. Nothing paranormal. And that's all it's going to be, health and wellness every week. So we're trying to narrow down a day, but once I get these products on the site, then we'll start our podcast. So hopefully that will be within the next month. So yeah, so go over and follow the pages.
We will
I
do.
post videos every single day on different health stuff, and if you, I'll give you a little trick. If you want to grow your Instagram page or your Facebook page, the best way to do it is post twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, every single day, 7 days a week, and you will grow.
And that's all you've done with your health.
That's all I've done. That's all I've done. Now, what the key is, you got to find the best times for you, and that's why you go into the analytics and see when most of your followers are online. So once you figure that out, because it will show you, especially in Instagram, it shows you when your followers are online. So that's when you post. Or
that's a good tip.
Or you post when they're not, because that way Instagram will push it out to new people.
Yeah.
That haven't seen your stuff. So generally what I do is I post between 10 and 10:30 in the morning. And then in the afternoon, I usually post sometimes at 1, sometimes at 2, sometimes at 3. And I post twice a day on both platforms. And I've gone from 0 to where the numbers are now.
Wow.
In 5 months.
That's a lot.
That's good.
Yep. And guess what? Pinterest. I've been posting every single day on Pinterest. It's very, very difficult to grow on Pinterest and something go viral. I finally, after 6 months, I had something go viral.
Really? What, for
After
the Health
6
Empowers
months. What's that?
You? Is that for the Health Empowers You stuff?
Yes.
That you're doing?
I finally had something go viral. It's right now, I think it's over 100. I think it's over 140,000 views.
Bloody.
Okay.
And that's on Pinterest.
Yeah.
Where it's very difficult to go viral. But again, I posted twice a day, every single day. And that's how I did it. And if you want to grow, that's how you do it.
That's the way to do it.
But now what I'm doing is I'm posting a video and then I'm posting a picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing now. But reels are very, very important. Post the reels every single day and you will grow. You will grow. if you post on Reels every single day.
Okay.
That's amazing.
That's
Yeah,
where we got going, Nando.
There's your little trick.
There's a little trick to go.
There's how you beat the algorithm.
It's clever.
Well, we have hit an hour and 34 minutes. So
Thank you.
I think we'll wrap it up. But
Yeah.
there was loads of questions about Global Ghost Hunt and paranormal. So we will get you back so we can just dedicate a show about that if you want.
Yeah.
Do you know, but I've got to be honest. As much as I love the paranormal, I really do enjoy what we do. But it has been refreshing to talk about something, not being disrespectful, but away from it all. And
that's why
and
I
talking
never
about
any of the questions up, because all the first 10 questions was about Global Ghost Hunt, Zach Baggins, paranormal.
Zach Baggins.
I was like, not getting involved.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
it was just nice to talk about something very different for a change.
Yeah,
and,
it's refreshing.
you
right?
know, so it's been,
I'm glad.
it's been a
You
good
know,
chat.
there's one thing I don't get to talk about a lot is my acting. And I know some people ask some questions here and there. They might ask one or two questions and then they move back to the paranormal, which is fine. I don't have a problem with, but I really enjoy talking about acting. And I love talking about your son and where hopefully his career could possibly go.
Yeah, hopefully. Well,
Yeah.
he's enjoying it, and that's, you know, the main thing for me is I just want my kids to enjoy what they're doing. And
of course.
And at this stage, I don't want him to take it too seriously at the moment.
No,
I just
no,
want
of
him
course
to
not.
enjoy the process and build on it, and then if it goes somewhere, then
if he gets in the union, I'm sorry, if he gets in the union, he will have to take it seriously.
Oh yeah, then
because he's going to be paid a lot more money. He's going to be paid a lot more money. And the great thing is, I don't know what it's like in the UK. It might be a little bit different here than it is there, but the money that they make, it actually goes into a fund or something like that. So when they hit a certain age or whatever, it can go towards school or whatever. So I would suggest what you guys should do if Rocco is going in the direction that I think he will do well, put all that money aside, invest it, and save it for his schooling.
That's what I'd love him to do. If he gets, like I said, after the school holidays, because they're on their holidays, he's going in for an audition for Grease the Musical. And that'll be his first proper theatre in the theatre show. So that'll be amazing.
It almost seems like that's the direction he's going, is theatre, like production theatre. Yeah.
I got to be honest, he loves the singing, he loves the
Is he a good singer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got to be honest, you know, we're amazed the way he managed to lift his voice to the back of the room. You know, it was amazing. And you know, but theatre, you know, he says, is it, you know, because he worries a lot as well, because a lot of people have different opinions. But I say to him, if it's theatre that you want to do, like the musicals and the things like that, then that's what you're here to do. You know, I do believe that you're given talents for a reason. And but
if he enjoys it, if that's the direction, that he would like to go, by all means, theatre is a good career. Good career, of course.
End up in London,
get the jobs, but you know,
he can end up in New York on Broadway. You don't know.
He could actually go to the
Juilliard School.
The Juilliard School.
Yeah,
which is a fantastic school.
But
he would have to learn how to do ballet and all those different types of dances. And honestly, if I were you, and I don't know how you feel about this, Nando, but I would actually consider getting him into a dance school at this young age, because theater today, a lot of it's dance.
Where he's doing his acting classes, they actually do musical, they do dance, they do it's everything. So what they do every month, they say, this is what's coming up now. Do you want to join and do that as well? So he has the opportunity to
encourage him to do that.
I would like him to go and do vocals as well, like singing, because they teach you the different pitches and everything.
Excellent.
So that was
but no, sounds like a great school. Sounds like a great school.
Yeah, it's amazing. I can't believe that.
Do you think when he gets older, he probably wouldn't want to go to college? He might want to go to theater school, like a professional theater school, like a Juilliard.
He wants to. He's already said when he's finished secondary school, he doesn't want to just go and do normal college. He wants to go to like a drama school, a
Yeah.
performing arts school.
Yeah, cool.
And the beauty about this, who he's with now, when he gets to that age, they help him with his applications and everything, and they point him in the direction. So, and if that's what he wants to do, we will support
Well, you know
him.
what? If it gets to that point, I would look at Sheridan College in Canada. Sheridan College has got an excellent arts program.
You try and take my son to Canada, turn him into
Well,
a
you know what?
Canadian.
If you want him to go to good school, you know,
It's
Sheridan College, the arts program is one of the top colleges in the world for arts.
is it?
Yeah.
And do you know what? If that's where it takes them, we will support that. It's
Their animation is number one on the board. You know how many people that do the animation course in Sheridan College go on to work for Pixar, Disney, all those places? Yeah. Like my sister's sister, this is a funny little story before we go. My sister's husband, or boyfriend, husband, he draws comic books.
Oh wow.
And he went to Sheridan College for their art program. They actually told him, "We can't teach you anything. You might as well drop out." That's how good he was.
Oh, okay.
And he actually drew the comic book Black Panther.
Jeez.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
And he also, from what I understand, he also designed the new Batmobile in the comic book. He worked for Marvel.
That is cool.
That
is cool.
Yeah. So he's an amazing artist. And but it was funny because he went to one of the top schools in Canada, in the world, for what he was doing, and he was told, "We can't teach you anything. You might as well leave." And so he quit and ended up getting a job with Marvel.
Amazing. That's amazing.
That's good. You can't get your foot in the door with Marvel then, Brian. I could see you as Doctor Doom or...
Ooh, yeah. I saw somebody earlier say something about Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
And Bad Boys.
Yeah. I
can see that. I can see me kicking some ass. Yeah.
Well,
I already done it once.
We'll leave it on that note.
Do you know what a good villain you would make if we're talking about superheroes and things like is Bane out of Batman?
No. Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor, the Canadian, the TV show.
Yeah.
Not the actual movie, because they had Lex Luthor, the TV show, here in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was cool. But anyways, guys, it's been amazing. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and thank you for all the questions for your people in the audience.
It's been good, and it's been great catching up and having a chat, having a laugh, and we'll do it again soon. Hopefully,
it's a lot of fun.
We will. We'll definitely get you back on, and we'll do.
Maybe we'll do it on the release of the new website for Global Ghost Hunt, which is launching soon. So in the next few weeks, it will be launching.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
We'll go back to the paranormal then.
It's boring. That's boring.
Do you know, like I said, tonight's been refreshing because we've spoken about stuff that we've never really spoken about. And I think now I can appreciate it a bit more now because with Rocco, it sort of sheds a different light on it now because, you know, and it's good. But it's been great catching up with you, Brian. And
thank you.
You know, it's been nice.
Has been nice.
Great, guys. Thank you. You want me to stay in the back room?
Yeah. We'll catch you in a second.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Cheers, Brian. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
That was fun.
That was. See?
That was fun.
No nerves at all of getting Brian back on. I was all right.
It's been good. And like I said, this year is about, you know, leaving all that behind us. And it was a great chat. It was like old times, just having a good chat. And it's good to hear him talk about something different than the paranormal.
He's very passionate about his acting. And it's nice to see. It's nice to see. You know. He's
got the grumpy look to a T. If you guys want to go and watch it, Discovery Plus, and it's on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Look up for the...
Yeah, that Brian stare.
The Brian stare.
That's what we're going to name it now, the Brian stare.
The Brian's. But no, it's been a good first show back, and it's been fun.
where can everyone find you this next few weeks? Because you got some big things coming up.
Friday, we've got our Portal to the Paranormal has their first podcast back. We got Eamon Harris coming on, great guy in the paranormal. We're going to be talking about new techniques and things that he's been doing. And then in March, we are out twice next month. We are going to Wookey Hole and Caves. So we're going to be investigating the paper mill there and the actual caves itself, which is known for the hauntings of a witch, some kind of evil witch there. Don't know how true the story is, but we're going to go with an open mind. And then again, the paper mill. And then at the end of the month, we are heading to Murchison Hall, which we've been to a few times. With that place, it's a good place. And no murder happened there in the fields of Murchison Hall. And we believe we've had some kind of communication around that area. So we're going to go back and hopefully we'll go live.
Yeah.
But that's us. I think you're going to be joining us on the
maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna be at the
Wookey Hole.
I'm gonna gate crash that party.
So that'll be fun. But then you've also got something coming up as well in March.
I have. There is a tiny little video to watch at the end. So instead of a goodbye outro, just a little video. But me and Louisa have got something different happening in March. Actually, the day after your event, which is quite good, so I can stay in Glastonbury for a few days. And we're holding a paranormal seminar where Louisa is going to teach all the mediumship skills and how she goes about doing investigations and teaching people how to use their skills. Then I'm going to talk a bit about the equipment. And then in the evening, we're going to actually do a paranormal investigation. So...
Cool.
Yeah, it's something new, something different. Getting my foot back into the paranormal because I've been out of it for a while because of all the drama. I've wanted to stay out of it, but yeah, I'm going to dip my big toe back in and see what sharks I can catch. So we'll do it that way. But other than that, I'm just working 6 days a week, 12-hour days. Strong man. But on that note, I will bid you farewell. We are back on next week. Guests to be confirmed, but yeah, we will get.
We've got 1 or 2 guests. We're waiting to hear back, but either one are great people.
3. We got 1 of 3 that could. So there is another one.
Oh, you didn't tell me about.
Yeah, well, I won't mention the third one because it might cause uproar in the comments. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, it's been lovely to see everyone back in the chat. It's been great to have Bryan back on and reconnect with him. It's been all right seeing you. But we will see everyone next week, Ben.
Yes. Big Rob, out.
Laters.
On the 8th of March, 2025, we gather around where the spirits thrive. Louisa Sullivan, the heart so bold, guiding us through tales untold. Big rock beside her, the flashlight beam, chasing shadows, living the dream. In a room full of whispers, the air is thick. Together we'll uncover the paranormal trick. Feel the energy, let it flow. In this seminar, watch the spirit show. With every heartbeat, we'll rise and shine. Together in this moment, all souls align. Through the echoes of laughter and a hint of fear, we'll share our stories, let the truth be clear. From the ghostly shadows to the light of day, in this journey together, we'll find our way. So lift your voice, let your spirit soar. In this world of wonder, we'll explore with Louisa and Rob. We'll break the mold. At the heart of the night, watch the magic unfold. Feel seminar, watch the spirit show. With every heartbeat we'll rise and shine, together in this moment, all souls alive. All souls alive. Through the echoes of laughter and a hint of fear, we'll share our stories, let the truth be clear. From the ghostly shadows to the light of day, in this journey